John Gilchrist, and he's going to be sort of hosting tonight, right?
That's what I'm told.
There you go.
Yeah,
Ready
I'm told.
to be nice and loud.
Is it mine now?
You're live.
Okay, I'm live. Good day, everyone. Yes, I'm going to be emceeing the show today, and quite an event it is. We've got improvisers here from all over the world, and going back 40, 45, 50 years with their experiences with Keith. So I'm going to do some wandering around with our Mitch, our wonderful cameraman here, and we'll see who we can find and dig out and talk to. So let's do, oh, there's Dave Duncan. Come on over here, Dave. Dave Duncan, one of the early members of the Moose. Dave, when did you join Loose Moose?
I joined Loose Moose in about 79 out of Mount Royal College with the Mount Royal Roaches.
With the Mount Royal Roaches, I remember them well, yes. Now, what was your impact from Keith? What did Keith do for you?
He really changed everything for me, really. He taught me how to use my brain. I had always been funny, but he showed me a way to control it and use it so it related to everybody. And he taught a great amount about teamwork, was great. And he's probably more responsible for the man I became than either of my parents. I mean, he transformed my whole, I believe my IQ went up during that time as well, though that may not be on display right now.
Yeah, Keith was a great influence. Now, you came in with the Mount Royal Roaches. Now, you were very physical. You were very athletic in your style. I know things haven't been going so well lately, but did that really play into your improvisation with Keith?
Well, Keith wanted us to look like cartoons. He wanted everything physical, and he wanted things on different levels. So that's what I did. I tried to use my physicality to be different, to go to different levels, to do different things. And so that we looked more like cartoons, so that we weren't just a radio play, you know. So Keith kind of gave me the push to do that, and so I did that.
Now you became a teacher yourself and have taught a number of the people that are here today. And do you find that you managed to keep Keith's ideas fresh and evolve with them?
Well, I pretty much taught word for word what Keith taught, and I think that's why he liked me as a teacher. I know there was a couple people, Harold Pruce and Zach Quinn, I think, when they were about to teach, Keith asked them to take my class first so that they could see how I was delivering it. And I think he liked the way that I delivered it. As I got more experience by the 90s, I might have then been filtering a little bit of my own experience into it, but I stayed awful darn true to what Keith taught because he was the genius and knew more about it than I did.
And yeah, yes, of course. But so many people I talk to around here say, I took classes from Dave, and that was some of the best things I ever did was working with Dave. So you have your own legacy as well as Keith's. Yeah.
I did not know that.
Yeah, you are a very well-respected teacher, Dave. All right. All right. Thank you very much, Dave. Ladies and gentlemen, Dave Duncan, a Mount Royal Roach to the end. Here he is.
There he is. Thanks very much.
And we'll just sort of wander around here, see who else we can find. We are at the Pumphouse Theatre in Calgary. This is the place where it all began back in the late 1970s when Keith Johnstone, Mel Tonkin founded the Loose Moose Theatre Company. And today we're going to have a lengthy program of various bizarre range of things going on here. So we're going to talk to some people. How about Daryl Stapleton? Come on over here, Daryl. Daryl, we're live to the rest of the world here. This is Daryl Stapleton. What's your connection with Keith?
My connection with Keith is Ross Patton, who used to be one of your performers, came to my school, and he was our substitute acting teacher. And he brought me and my friends to Loose Moose for the first time in 1978. And the very first thing I saw when I came through the door was Spaghetti in the Waif. They are mask characters done by Ingrid Von Darl and Dennis Cahill, and that was my introduction to this whole world. I've never been the same since.
And that didn't scare you away, seeing Spaghetti in the Waif. They were very unusual.
The chaos.
Yeah, and that's pretty much what you have to do, and you had to do with here at the Pumphouse. And even today,
John Gilchrist did a fabulous job as Pozzo in Keith's play Waiting for Godot. I just want that known.
Oh, thank you very much, Daryl. Yeah, I was very fortunate to work on two productions with Keith, both Waiting for Godot as Pozzo, and then with the Theatresports Hamlet, which was produced right here in the Pumphouse Theater, and was a wonderful Hamlet, so I got to perform in that one as well. All right, well, can we wander outside here and see what's happening out in the sunshine? Oh, we can't go outside. We have to stay inside. So let's see. Why don't we wander up top here and see who's in the? We have to show what's in the pump room. Now there are two theaters at the Pumphouse. There's the large one, and here we are. We're passing through the kind of one of the lobbies where we have a bunch of cupcakes, which Keith really loved, and a bunch of vegetarian sort of crudités. Lindsay Mullen, come here. And we're going to talk with Lindsay Mullen right now. We're live to the rest of the world, Lindsay. So we're just asking people, what was your connection with Keith Johnstone?
What's my connection with him? Like, here's the thing. I am in awe of him, but I'm pretty sure Keith would forget me every time he met me. I've taken a few classes with him. I once took him for coffee when I was 20, and he talked about everything under the sun for an hour. It was the most, I was so socially awkward, I was so nervous, but he was like a genius, a legit genius.
Yes.
People overuse that word. An actual legit genius.
It is appropriate for Keith for certain, and yes, it's also appropriate that he would forget you. I worked it with him for 5 years as the general manager, and I'm not sure he knew who I was. So, so what are you up to now?
I live in Toronto now, and I improvise. I take all of Keith's ideas and try to give him credit and teach them and perform, and honestly, I just love the Loose Moose so much that I had to fly back here. I flew back here for this. I'm so excited.
Oh, how nice of you to come in for this year. There's a number of people who've come in from out of town, from around the world. We have people here from London and Oslo and Lethbridge too. So.
The exotic Albertan destination of Lethbridge. It's the Paris of Alberta.
Yes, that's right. The Paris of the Prairies, right here. Okay, thank you very much, Lindsay.
Hi. Hello, everyone.
All right, keep it clean now. Keep it clean. We're back, folks. Sorry, we're here at the Pumphouse Theatre. There's a whole lot of brick walls and a whole lot of barricades that we have to work through, and we lost our signal for a bit. But now I'm here with Veena Sood, who is one of the original Loose Moose Theatre people and one of the original students of Keith Johnstone here in Calgary. Veena, what's your connection to Keith?
Keith was my acting teacher at University of Calgary from 1975 to 79. So I'm 173 years old.
What, you were only 12 when you started university, weren't you?
Yeah, I was actually 16 through our immigrating to Canada, and I accelerated. Not that I'm smart, just happened to accelerate. So yeah, I was 16 when I started with Keith.
So what was it like being a small, dark, young gal working with Keith?
Well, the cool part was I didn't know I was small, dark, and young working with Keith because he never made me feel different. And this whole concept now with acting and performing with diversity, Keith didn't really attend to that. So I didn't feel that was an issue. So because it wasn't ever ingrained into me that it was an issue, it never manifested as such.
Yeah, I certainly, my memories of the Moose, and I was with the Moose from 79 to 84, was that it was very inclusive and that everyone was welcome. And if you wanted to go on stage, you could. There was no, you had to, show that you belonged up there. But it was for everyone. And I think that, we were inclusive before it was cool.
It was the place for all the misfits and the outcasts. And if you wanted to be an improviser and work on the stage, you just had to show up, sell some popcorn, and volunteer to do a few things. All the training and the classes were free. Yep. And after a while, you would do a 10-minute show with the newbies. Yep. And get better and fail and get better and fail, and eventually you were part of the company.
And now some of the misfits have moved on and are doing okay for themselves. What are you up to these days?
I'm making a living as an actor. Primarily, I work in film and television, and I also teach a lot of what Keith taught me. I teach impro for actors, so how do Keith's exercises apply to text work. And I teach a lot of the actors in the Vancouver community where I live who are part of the film and television acting world.
And well, give a plug to your show. What's your latest work on TV?
I'm in a TV series in Canada and in the United States called Children Ruin Everything. And in fact, the showrunner, producer, creator is a longtime improv guy from Toronto and a huge fan of Loose Moose and of Keith.
Yeah, and of course, most people say the best thing in that show, and it's a very good show, but the best thing in it is Veena, so you got to watch it.
I think I'm one of the people saying that. So.
Could be. That must be where I heard it.
And my mother.
And Jill.
Yeah, yeah.
Thank you very much, Vina. We'll be getting into the main program here shortly, but thank you so much for coming in from Vancouver to join us here at the Pumphouse today. Bringing back a lot of memories, isn't it?
Definitely. I was really nervous and quite verklempt about being here.
Yeah.
Cool.
Okay. Thanks, Vina. Ladies and gentlemen, Vina Sood, one of the great misfits from the early Pumphouse days. Jim. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm here with Jim Curry, one of the funniest people I've ever met. But Jim, you started your life as a mail carrier, didn't you?
Yes, I was in the post office, and then through a friend named Bob Percy, because I was always at the bars acting out, and he said you should find an outlet and take acting. And so one thing led to another, and I took acting. But he also said to me, there's only one teacher that will get you. If you're going to take drama, if you can't get in Keith Johnstone's acting class, no, don't take it. So I did. Keith got me. Keith's main ability, I always felt, was he was good if you're a bit shy about performing, and he was also, he knew when to call you back. He'd say, enough guys, enough. So I never felt like the scene went on too long. I felt super safe. And the rest is now, well, many movies about me have come out now, but the one I like best is when me and Gandhi went to the Himalayas, and we both decided to fast. But I snuck a burger in on the side. I didn't tell him so. Anyways.
I remember when we did the Theatresports Hamlet, which Keith wrote, well, I think it was with some additional dialogue by some guy named Shakespeare. You played the gravedigger, one of the gravediggers with Tony Zatino, and we had a big hole in the middle of the floor, so we tossed you guys in that hole. That still, in my mind, 40-odd years later, is one of the funniest things I have ever seen.
I think wasn't I wearing the bald head with glasses for that too? Oh, Yorick.
I think the thing that really did it was you took your shirt off.
Right, and just keeping the women in their seats and not coming and grabbing me then and ruining the whole play for everybody. That was a real act of tolerance and strength. So I love my Loose Moose years. They were great. They were fun. And the Pumphouse was a great place to come and just be crazy and charge $1. And you could get your money back. And a few people did, and that was hilarious too. That somebody would want their money back, you know?
Yeah, we had a money-back guarantee. If you didn't like the show, we'd give you your money back. And occasionally, here's your $1 back. Okay, fine. Yeah.
Because sometimes the shows weren't that good. But it was always fun, and it was a great group of people. That's all I can say. And thank you for this award. Where's my award?
I think we left it in the other room there. So it's.
Cheers, people. Do some editing. Cut this.
Yeah. Well, it's live, Jim.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And so, ladies and gentlemen, Jim Curry, an original Moosette, one of the early players in Loose Moose history, and right here at the Pumphouse.
Winning this team in Theatresports in the first 3 years, when winning mattered, because we really, really wanted to win, and you got more rug time that way if you win. If you win the challenge, you get to do a scene. Yeah, the Moosettes were great. Tony Tatino, Dave Duncan, Rick Hilton, deceased now, me, Kathleen Foreman, now no longer with us, and part-time member Clem Martini was on that team, who wanted to do planned scenes and not improvise. That was his thing.
There's a lot of talent on the Moosette team. Thank you, Jim, for joining us today.
Thank you, John.
Thanks.
Thank you, live streaming people.
All right. So we seem to be moving towards the theater now. And and we make our way into the theater, following Dennis Cahill and Deborah Yahtzee. Hey, how you doing? Yeah, how are you doing? Yeah. We have a cheering crowd there for Dennis. Look, there's Mark McKinney, famous LA movie star and TV star, and former Loose Moose. Mark came in from LA for this event today, which is wonderful. Now we're going to continue on into the theater and get into. We're following Mark McKinney, this famous Hollywood actor.
Yes, that's me.
We'll talk to Mark a bit later on. Okay.
This is John Gilchrist.
Yeah, hi, John
Theatresports legend.
Yeah, legend in my own mind. And now we'll enjoy some a string quartet to start off our afternoon.
I've been freaking people out all day.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Pumphouse Theater and the festive wake for Keith Johnstone. Let's give it up for the Venturi Quartet over here. They are going to be playing for us in just a few moments, but before we go, I'll give you a hint of what we're going to be doing this afternoon. This is, after all, an improv show, so anything could happen and likely will. So just to let you know, we're going to have some nice music to start. We're going to have something from Live Snakes and Ladders. We're going to have a little video of Keith. We're going to have another video from Keith's son, Narada Danvatari. And then we're going to be, evidently there's something called a banana peeling contest that we're going to have here. That should be interesting. And of course, then we're going to be schmoozing around like we have been for the last hour or so. And in amongst all this, we're going to be talking to folks in Brazil, in Sao Paulo, where we have a direct link up. And hopefully that we're going to be going live with that in any time now. But we're all here to celebrate our history with Keith, the co-founder of the Loose Moose and the creative mind behind Theatresports, Maestro, Guerrilla Theater, and which is now played in about 120 theaters around the world. It's phenomenal. For those of us who were here back in the 70s in this grotty old theater with a big pit in the floor. Remember that pit in the floor was where we put Tony Tatino and Jim Curry doing a Gravedigger scene from our Theatresports Hamlet. funniest thing I've seen in the last 45 years was those two guys in the pit right about here. I think it was. How many was it? Yes. Over and about here. Yeah, it's probably still there. We can probably open it up and jump down there. The scariest part of that, maybe the funniest part, was both Jim and Tony took their shirts off to do it. Yes. Yeah, so it's that kind of night. So, do we have Brazil on the line?
We do. Hold on. I just got a little problem. Keep talking.
All right, keep talking. Okay. I had the great privilege of working with Keith for 5 years as the manager of Loose Moose from 79 to 84. And since then, there's only been one other manager, Deborah Yahtzee, who was here with Dennis Kagan. Version of Waiting for Godot, which I think we ran in 86 minutes. Is that right, Dennis? About 86 minutes? Approximately. And I mean, it clipped along. And then the Theatresports Hamlet as well as other great productions like Bangor. I think we have Brazil on the line.
I'll try. Hold on. Fuck.
Good afternoon, Sao Paulo. How are things in Brazil?
Yeah, we are here. Can you hear us?
Yes, we can. So how are things down there?
I can hear you guys.
I can't hear you. I knew it. Fuck.
You can't hear us? We can hear you.
Sign language to hold tight.
Okay, anybody know American
There's no
Sign?
audio. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Can we just talk? Are you guys listeners? Are you guys listeners? Because we can talk.
Okay, Andre, if
You're
you
saying
can
yes, yes, you're saying yes.
Yes,
Okay.
okay. So,
Hello from Brazil.
How are you? Hello from Brazil. Hello, everybody. Nice to talk to you guys. I'm Daniel from Brazil, São Paulo. Here by my side is
Tomé.
a very, very English name, Tomé.
I'm Michelle Galindo.
And we are here just because we were talking about that. We were in Keith workshop, I believe it's 13 years ago?
13
Yeah,
years
2011
2011.
12
in July.
Oh my God. And well, what do you guys remember about that? It's a long time ago, but
It was amazing. I mean, when the workshop, when it opened, I was so happy because I didn't know it was possible that I would ever meet Keith Johnstone.
yeah, that's super true.
So when there was a workshop with him, I was like so happy. I can't believe I'm going to meet him, and it was really something. One of the best things in my life, I guess, because we got to meet him.
It was amazing. And Keith not only taught us new things and he honed us in the things we were doing here. Improvisation in Brazil was starting to become really professional, thanks to Barbichas. These guys really made something very special here. And when we were really reassured, Keith really reassured us in the things we were doing different. And we thought it was wrong, and we came back from Calgary very happy and with a lot of knowledge and a lot of friends. Frank, Sean, everybody there. That
big hugs.
It was amazing that July in Calgary. I'm really glad it was July.
Yes.
And yeah, thank you everybody. And it's amazing we are here gathered with some.
Yeah, show our party, please.
Yeah,
Show. We have
a
a small party
here.
here. It's just getting started because here in Brazil it's almost evening. So
lot of
you know, party in Brazil starts during the evening. So this is very important. So thank you guys very much. Show again. We are partying here. And, you know, we are going to stay here.
That's Marco.
We're going to stay here with you guys. If you need us, please give a call. We are here to you know, have this party with you and talking about it. And thank you. It's back to you. I can hear you, but back to you.
We can hear a thing.
And
but
thank you, Keith. We're so grateful for everything. Thank you so much.
Viva Keith!
Viva Keith!
Viva Keith! Viva Keith!
Okay, thank you very much, and thank you, Brazil. Thank you very much for coming to us today. We've got people tuning in from around the world. We know that many people have come here today from around the world. We have people from London, people from Oslo, people from Lethbridge. How's the jet lag, guys? Are you doing okay? That's a rough drive up Highway 2. Anyway, we're going to get on with the full program now. We're going to start with a bit of music. I'll introduce that in just a moment here, and then after the music. Apparently, I have the only copy of the program, so I have to tell you what's going on here. We have after the music, we're going to have Death's prologue to Live Stakes and Ladders. How many people remember that? Yeah. I know most of you kids weren't born then, but some of us do. But then there'll be a video called Remembering Keith, various highlights of his life, and then a special video message from his son, Narada Dan Batari. That'll be a big part of our program today. But first of all, we're going to play, not me, the Venturi Quartet is going to play Beethoven's String Quartet Opus 132 in A minor, slow movement. This was Keith's favorite piece of music. So listen closely to it. You may remember it from Waiting for Godot and other productions that Keith did, but he loved this piece of music. And so now, over to the Venturi Quartet. Thank you very much.
I am death, mighty and dreadful death. Not Father Christmas, not some plaster saint, not an old myth, not something quaint. I am the skull beneath the flesh, the carcass in the wilderness, the shadow on the X-ray plate, the pain that never will abate, the itch that will not go away, the drunkard on the motorway. Some rage, some plead, some are resigned, but all must leave their humankind. This is my side. You'll feel its blade. Your friend will not come to your aid. It's no use clutching to your wife. Not all your wealth will save your life. Make up your face, take exercise, eat vitamins, live more wise, but never think I won't surprise you as you work or as you sleep, at counting change or counting sheep. One day I'll quench you, that's for sure. There is no place where you're secure. I'll tell you life's great mystery, that no man, that no one thinks they'll sup with me. They're sure there'll be another year, and that the world will still be here. I saw the shells form cliffs of chalk. I saw the fish learn how to walk. I saw the ape learn how to speak, and everywhere its maker seek. One day I shall explode the sun and blow all things to kingdom come. But that won't trouble you, I trust. Like chimney sweepers, come to dust. Now, awake to pass the time that may elapse ere you are mine. That one.
You do not want a great introduction to improvisation because you may have absolutely nothing to offer. I was born in Brixham, which is a fishing town. When I was a child, you got out the house. First of all, you played around the harbour because it was a little fishing town, very poor, because the fish had all died. Then as when you got maybe 6 or 7 years old, you would go further away from the harbour. About 7 or 8, you made the cliffs. I decided when I was just before my 9th birthday not to believe anything the grown-ups said. And the next day I decided to always see if the opposite could be true. I think it changed my life. I've been doing it ever since. And it taught me to be looking for the obvious and not the clever. The obvious is really your true self. The clever is an imitation of somebody else, really. And I was so pleased to be born in that place because it was beautiful. I was a total misfit as a teacher. They should have got rid of me. I only stayed because they inspected the school and found my class were doing excellent work. But don't think they liked me for that. I wrote out a list of all the things my teachers stopped me from doing. And I started teaching those. And as my teachers hated spontaneity, it was like a very good syllabus. I remember making faces was at the top. Making faces turned out to be a really important, very useful game. In my opinion, many professors don't really want you to learn. They want to look like good professors. They teach you not to like failure. I'm sure they did, but you can't learn anything without failing. So they had to teach you a different attitude towards failure. They teach you to hate it. No, you're failing. It means we can now teach you because you failed. You can't learn anything without failing. Therefore, we had to change your attitude to failure. Any idea will do if it inspires the person, but most people cling to ideas because they've been through this stupid training of searching for the best idea. In fact, you learned at school to tempt yourself up and I'll do better. Give me another chance. You just fill yourself with tension and that causes fear. And in my opinion, doing your best is the same as stage fright. There's this terrible culture in which everyone's taught to do their best. Went to see a mime class, and the teacher was cross. He said, no. You look as if you're walking in deep sand. I thought, why don't you say, hey, fantastic. You discovered the mime for walking in deep sand. It would be just the same, and it wouldn't be so negative. I was so naive, I thought actors weren't afraid of the audience. All actors are afraid. I didn't understand that. That's why they don't look like people. I don't want to see all these frightened people on the stage. Normal acting does not deal with fear. You're supposed to hide it. It's like that Swedish guy who said that he'd always known he was scared, but he didn't know the others were equally scared until I arrived and started exploring the fear. You can't teach spontaneity, but you can get people to not do the things that stop them being spontaneous. Spontaneity, you don't teach spontaneity, you remove the obstacles. And of course, the main obstacle is you, your social self, which is so concerned with being approved of and liked and all the rest of that. And it screws you up. Action is so simple you can't grasp it. One person is changed by another. That's it. Wonderful actors make wonderful changes, profound changes. And the great playwrights make profound and wonderful changes. But it's so simple. How could one not see that? When I began to teach improvisation, I was astounded at all the things the improvisers did to wreck themselves, because they were so negative, and if they lit a fire, it would start to rain. That's the problem with people wanting to be original, so they reject what their mind gives them because they've seen it before and they've been taught not to cheat. You can't cheat in improvisation. There are no new ideas if you've been long enough. If it's obvious, people will like it. We've been trained the opposite. We've been trained that we're not good enough and we have to do extra stuff. By ourselves, we're not innately worth anything. So you use more effort. You can be a wonderful improviser, but you'd be better if you used less effort. Well, improvisers have an inhibition about it because they don't want to be altered. I teach people to be boring, but not depressed. I do see when people have interviewed me, they often told me that I didn't want the scenes to be funny. But if they take my advice, they'd be a hell of a lot funnier. You have to teach improvisers to think inside the box, or you can't work with them. You say to the mask actor, you say, make your mouth fit the mask. The thing in the mirror is going to find a sound. And I said the thing in the mirror will make a sound. I haven't said you make a sound. That's devious. Once you're an experienced improviser, it's ridiculous not to kill ideas, because some ideas deserve a quick death. If you didn't kill any ideas, it would all be like deflated sex dolls or Salvador Dali clocks. There'd be no guts to anything. Everything would be limp and pathetic. You'd have no resistance. Of course you have to kill ideas and all the things we say you shouldn't do when you start. In the end, of course you can do for pleasure, but not from fear. The thing about improvisation, if it's not risky, it's not worth doing.
Keith, what makes a good improviser?
Generosity and no fear. The audience connects things, but the improvisers disconnect because they've been taught to be original, but the real knowledge is in the audience. They know when to laugh, they know when to pay attention. If you direct a play, if you're not an idiot, when you get the audience and you watch the audience, because you're only guessing, the audience know when it's good and bad. But the idea that the audience might educate us instead of us with the knowledge educating the audience was some sort of heresy and anathema. The audience wants to connect everything. The improvisers want to disconnect everything. So now you teach it and people think, oh, there, of course. It took years to find that. Who wants to be 90?
I don't know.
Anybody who's 89. Well, the future's going to change us. It certainly changed me for the worse.
Oh.
Well, this feeling I'm going to wake up one day in a strange place. And they say, you've arrived. Mr. Johnstone, we've arrived. Quick, you're just in time for this Theatresports festival. We're going to be a break in 10,000 years. And then I'll know I've gone to hell. Laughter should not be the measure of all things. Did you relate to somebody? Did you inspire the people on the stage with you? Did you go on a journey into somebody that we haven't been before?
Do you have advice for the next generation of improvisers?
Oh my God. Please try and be truthful and good-natured for God's sake. And stop being so damn competitive. Be average, please. Because I want your best work, and I can't get your best work, and you try and do your best. Try and do anything wonderfully well. Go out and watch the sunset and write a great poem about it. No, go and write an average poem about it, and you have some hope of getting something good. There's no hope in doing your best. It's a disaster.
kisses and hugs from Brazil.
Hello, peoples! I love Keith Johnstone.
We all do. We all
Everybody's
do.
drunk.
Yes, Hello.
Hello, everyone.
Hello, everybody. We can see that we are online, so we're gonna say something here.
It's like a broadcast that everyone, you're on the air. Come on, hurry! And then the guy just.
We don't know if we are live on the theater or we know that we are live from YouTube. So here we have Anderson Bizocchi with us. Palmas!
And Pumphouse. and that's my whole family there.
It's just his family. Anderson, talk something about, Canada.
And now.
No!
And now we have a great guy, a friend of ours that's from Curitiba and also did 10 days with Keith in 2011. Andre Mosqueto is joining us. Can
Hello,
you hear
guys.
us?
Yes, I can hear you. I can hear you perfectly. And it seems that we took over this live broadcast to the world. So, hello, world.
It was our plan since the beginning.
Yeah. And how are you, Andre? Andre is from Curitiba. Andre is live with us. He's also a very amazing improviser and director, writer, and everything else. Andre, talk something about Keith, because you were with us in Calgary during that,
the
so
10
many
days with Keith.
And say something, say hi. I'm so sorry that I didn't say hi to you guys in Canada. Hi, it's nice to meet you guys.
And if you're not polite in Canada,
yeah, I'm so sorry.
that's a
That's
felony.
double rude.
That's a felony. I'm so sorry. So Andre, say hi to everybody, and we took over the Keith's live. Yeah.
Hello, everyone. Well, it's a pleasure to dominate this live broadcast to the world, and we are glad to be here today to honor the memory of Keith Johnstone and every amazing things he made for all of us who are here, all of us who work with improv, who had the opportunity to learn from him, from his books, from his from the material that he left for us. And we are lucky to have classes with so many people that had this study with Keith, and we are honored to be here. It was an honor to be part of this Wake project and to be part of the editing of the video. I would say that I don't know if we were not following the live, but Andre is the one that edited the video with Teresa. And who else helped you, Andre? The material it was coming from the whole world, and Teresa selected so many pictures. Frank Totino, Dave, Doug, and we had the opportunity to got some material from the internet, the ones that were not wouldn't infringe copyright issues.
Very important to say that. But I love the video. I saw the video and it was amazing. And I hope you guys just upload it on YouTube, because it's a lot of very good photography, pictures, and some video footage too. Very, very interesting. And some of the video footage is when we were there, right? When Brazilian dominated
the Brazilian year.
with Keith.
The Brazilian year.
The tropical year.
I remember one thing that we were, with Keith doing his exercises, and he couldn't understand anything that we were saying, because he continued asking us to do it in Portuguese. But every time we finished an exercise, we could hear him saying, "Clowns."
Yeah.
And this was very important to us to know that we are still clowns.
we have an expression here in Brazil, thanks to those days with Keith, that was created by Marco Gonçalves, who is also in the party over there in São Paulo.
Yeah.
Yes. Because he instead of saying what comes next, he would say what comes next.
What's next?
Marco was a courage guy that went to 10 days with Keith. but he doesn't know how to speak proper English. And he was very, no, I can
Just
do it.
like
I
us.
can do it. Just like us. Yeah, but a little bit less. And he was with that courage that sometimes the improvisers do have to go on stage. And Marco went to stage and he said, okay, so Keith, most of the time would do an exercise, would give an exercise to Marco and Keith would say, did you understand what you're supposed to do? And Marco, of course. And Marco started doing something, and Keith, no, again. You have to, and I explained to Marco again, and Marco would, got it. And then would do it, so, okay, someone else. Someone translate to him, please.
The best clown scene of my life.
Best clown scene.
The best clown scene of my life. Keith in front of him saying, do you understand? He's saying, of course, and doing something completely different.
Completely different.
Yeah.
Completely
It was
different.
amazing.
Someone translate to him, please.
It was amazing.
Yeah, it was amazing.
And we had a very good opportunity because Daniel, who's over there in São Paulo, the one on the right, and myself and Marcio Balas, we had the opportunity to interview Keith just after those days, and we got some of those moments, and some of those moments are in this video that was edited and showed there. So we have this secret bonus interview that we could manage to have some extra time with our teacher, so he could share a little bit more with us. It was amazing. It was a
Whoa, we have image
amazing.
from Calgary. I don't know if you're supposed to go back.
And we have Calgary now. We have the crowd waving for us. Thank you very much. And now they are waving for us. And now we can see everyone
on the chat.
That everyone is talking with us and waving and saying hello. Hello. Thank you very
People
much.
on YouTube were asking if anyone recorded last night's secret impro, because the ones that are not in Calgary are really curious about last night in Loose Moose.
Yeah.
So if anyone has footage, if anyone has pictures, please send us.
And
Dave
now
is on the center of the stage.
Back to you, Dave. I don't know if you can hear us, but we can't hear you, so back to you.
We can hear you, but back to you.
We believe you.
No, not yet, Dave.
No, I can hear very, 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 I can hear something of you.
It's not coming from that microphone, maybe, but we can hear something.
Hello, everyone. My name is Dan Johnstone, but on my birth certificate it does say Dan Johnstone. Some of you may be surprised to discover Keith had 2 sons. Ben you were more likely to know of, as he lived with Keith for most of his life. But most of my life has been lived half a planet away in Australia.
I always got on very well with Keith and admired his work immensely, as I'm sure all of you do. His insights into the dynamics of human interaction and his humorous attitude to life and its absurdities continue to ripple out and affect the world in a multitude of ways. These are strange times in which Keith has left us, in the looming shadow of the unfolding technological singularity. I'd like to share a little of my story and my work with AI art and sacred geometry. My parents' relationship was somewhat peculiar. My mother liked that word. They obviously had great affection for each other, as even at that magical time, just before the beginning of the 1960s free love era, and even in the creative whirlpool surrounding the Royal Court Theatre, it would have been rather unusual for a 26-year-old writer-director and his 33-year-old girlfriend, after a couple of years together, to decide that they would deliberately conceive a child, even though they were not planning to stay together long term. When I was nearly 4 years old, my mum Pat and I moved back to her homeland of Australia, half a world away, which somewhat explains why there was a 20-year gap before I met Keith again. I visited him in Calgary for a few weeks on my way back from a pilgrimage to the magical land of India. Meeting him again at 24, I was struck by our many similarities in our gestures, ways of speaking, ways of thinking. That was my first time at Loose Moose watching Keith in action, orchestrating the chaos and helping people get beyond their fears to be spontaneously creative in public. In the following decades, I managed to meet up with Keith when he was doing workshops in Sydney, Melbourne, Denmark, London, and Calgary. But I still felt that I knew Keith best through the ideas in Impro and his other books, rather than the time we spent together. My life has been full of music and art, and my art is heavily influenced by sacred geometry. This is one of my discoveries, a new form of the six-dimensional cube. I see my own fascination with the archetypal patterns of the universe as being a parallel to Keith's fascination with the patterns of human interactions and the patterns of the stories we tell ourselves and each other. This eventually led me a few years ago to writing and illustrating a book about sacred geometry, and this in turn led to a fascination with the patterns of information that make up what we call artificial intelligence. In particular, I'm entranced by the way AI text-to-image generators have recently learned to make such stunningly beautiful patterns from simple verbal instructions. I'm currently making a website called angelicinterface.com to share the most beautiful archetypal imagery that I've been able to tease the AI into creating. I'm sorry I won't get to show them to Keith, who had a fine eye for aesthetic composition. I think he would have been amazed at how well the AI understands body language, among other things. AI is exploding everywhere lately, and the possibilities of where it is leading us are absolutely mind-boggling. It's becoming popular to make AI avatars of people after they die, so that we can continue to interact with them online. I asked the best-known AI, GPT-4, to pretend to be Keith and answer questions about theatre and impro yesterday. It knew his work and his style, and it did a surprisingly good job at explaining some of his favourite concepts. So for whatever it's worth, I asked GPT-4 how Keith would have felt about having an AI avatar of himself. I'll leave you to contemplate how insightful its reply is. It said,
Keith always believed in the power of human connection and spontaneity, core elements of his improvisation philosophy. He would appreciate technology as a tool for aiding learning, yet it could never replace the energy of live interaction. So, while we may develop tech to keep his teachings alive, let's remember nothing can truly replace the spark of human creativity that Keith championed. His spirit lives on in every yes and every heartfelt performance. Let's continue his legacy in our improvisation, our theaters, and in our lives.
So goodbye for now, Keith. I will miss you, and the world will miss you. I'm sorry it's been more than the traditional 40 days in the Bardo since your departure, and I hope you found a nice dakini to hang out with while you were waiting for this gathering. And I hope to see you again on the flip side of eternity.
Sound? Oh, I do have sound. Thank you so much. Sort of. AI. Yeah. Yeah, I saw a lot of Keith in that visual there. Yeah. It was the hair. I think the hair. Yeah. Okay. this is a classy production, as you know today. So no better way to finish up a classy production but with a little gorilla and a banana peeling contest. Come on!
Ladies and gentlemen, with Lucius Theater and Maestro, it's Coco. My name's Sean. I've been around Loose Moose for a few years, and back at the Simplex, I remember Keith walking around before a show and saying, "This is how you peel a banana." And I don't know why. It was before the show, and why was he showing us how to peel a banana? But it relaxed some of us, and some of us never got it right. I could never do it the way he did it. We thought today we'd bring that back and show you how Keith showed us how to peel a banana in a little competition called Peel Banana. So, Coco has given away a few bananas in the audience. Could you all come down on stage? There's a prize that's going to we have two more left. There's two people who'd love to be a banana. Tilda, where's Tilda? Dennis is here. You want one? And then there's one for Grant. And then there's Tilda. This is Steve Jern's daughter. There's Katie. There you go. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we want to do this fairly quick. So we're going to just go down the line. They're going to snap the bananas. What you're looking for is a sharp sound, but also no oozing out the side out the banana, and it has to be clearly two halves. I'll then hold my hands over their head. You're going to vote, and the winner is going to get a prize. Emanuela, is there a second and third?
Yeah, so.
And there's a second and third prize.
Do you want to know the price now?
No, that's changed. A $5 bill. Okay. So before they do it, they'll announce their name, where they're from, and if they know Keith's method or not.
My name is Lars. I'm from Denmark now, but Calgary originally, and I have no fucking idea.
Okay, here we go.
There is a mic up on those bananas.
Terry, can you get a mic on the bananas?
Yeah, more tech.
My name is Eric. I'm from Holland, and I also have no idea, but I'm going to try it.
I'm from Calgary. My name is Vina. Whether this works or not, I'm going to do the face Keith would make after doing the snap. All right, here we go. Guys, it doesn't have to be good. Hi, I'm Teresa, Portland, Oregon.
Then he would squeeze it up like this. He would squeeze.
Hi, I'm Lindsay. I'm from Marteloup in Calgary. I don't know what this is about, so I just see. Okay.
Thank you.
Harsh snap. Is that what we want?
I bet you Tony knows.
I might, yeah. I'm Tony, and I'm living in Oslo.
Ouch, I'm John. I'm from Lethbridge. I'm following Tony. Hey,
I'm Ken. I'm from Calgary. He never taught me.
William Hall from San Francisco.
Did he ever tell you the specific way of doing it?
He demonstrated it many times, but he never actually taught it. I'm Frank. I'm from here.
I'm Dennis, and fuck it. Quick round of applause so we can move on. Hold the hand over the head. Applaud for the banana that you thought was broken most clearly, cleanly, loudly, decisively.
Shall we? You can do it. Come on, come on. Stand back, stand back. My turn. Is it my turn? Yeah! Okay, viva Keith Johnstone! Oh no! Okay, that's it. Yeah.
Brazilian banana.
Oh yeah. Thank you!
Okay, where did it go, Frank?
Yeah, Frank.
Frank again.
Big round of applause for third place winner. Your prize is Charlie Chapman. Second place by a round of applause is our friend here. George is a battery pack. No, Cineplex movies.
Thank you.
And misbehaving audience awards Dennis Cahill a copy of Impro for
Thank you, Sean. Thank you, contestants. Thank you very much. So, ladies and gentlemen, don't slip on those peels. It's not that funny. Okay, we have the Pumphouse till about 4 o'clock today, so it's now time to mix and mingle again a bit more. So, and remember, if you're going to leave, think of Keith and be average. Okay, thanks for joining us today.
Amazing. Corta lá pra...